You also can share if any points the Abhilash misses. I have seen personally how the Abhilash has used it. I appeal to all the staff members. Please join your respective HODs and me also. There is a principal to your Google Classroom. Means whatever the classroom you are doing, the content delivery, the principal and the HOD will be knowing it. Who are the student have submitted, who are not submitted, even that the HODs and the principal will be knowing it. Hence, join us to your Google Classroom. Okay, with this brief introduction, I welcome you all. Please listen to Abhilash, and Abhilash, I'll hand over this one to you. And I wish this today's the session will be a success. Thank you very much for patience listening.
Uh, Thank you so much, sir. Is my audio audible?
Yes.
Okay. I'll start presenting my screen now. Before starting off, as many of you have already known, Google Meet is a learning management system which is offered by the Google uh, service company.
Thank
Uh,
you, sir.
Ma'am, can I continue?
Yes, I think it was a time lag.
Okay. Uh, Sir, I'll start the session now, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
I will mute myself now.
Okay, sir. So, as many of you have might knowing, Google Classroom is a learning management system which is referred as LMS, which is usually used for the online class content management as well as assessment management system, virtually maintaining all the records of whatever the activities that the teacher is taking or the students are involved with. So in order to have a common platform, because this is the one of the major problem we have faced while taking the online, switching from offline class to the online class. So how the content has to be shared and how the assessment has to be shared. At the same time, when we want to have accountability on when we did what. So to keep track of all the activities on a single platform or a single roof, to engage students in a single platform wherein they get all the information that is required, because some of the times one of the any one of the students might be missed out of the online class, but he want to access the information that was conveyed to him or her in a particular session. So if we could create a virtual environment wherein the data whichever that is shared, or data the material whichever is shared, the assignment whichever is shared, is there in a single platform, they can access the information anytime from anywhere. So Google Classroom is one of that one of such platforms available, which is having a user interface which is very friendly for both teachers as well as students, which will offer, which does not require any additional accounts to create the Google Classroom. You can proceed with the existing accounts, but as we have already known, because of the storage constraints, that is the we will be sharing the note materials, we will be sharing the textbook soft copies, we will be sharing any other materials on Google Classroom. At the same time, students will be submitting their assignments. So all this information will be stored in a Google Drive. So when we make use of our personal account for conducting or for creating a Google Classroom, probably since we have a limitation of 15 GB storage that is available in Google Drive, so there are chances that that entire capacity might be used. So to avoid that confusion, at the same time to avoid the mixing up of the information with respect to academics as well as the personal files, so we suggest from the digital teaching and assessment committee, which we had further discussions, and we are recommending to create a new Gmail account or new Google account specifically for having the online class, that is for creating a Google Classroom as well as managing entire information with respect to the Google Classroom. So we request every staff to create a new Google account, so with extensions specifically which you can remember. So for example, for my case, I have created a new account with extension of my initials, that is AKJ, department ece.bce. So this remains constant so that I can keep track of my entire virtual classroom activities on a single platform or a single separate account. So what exactly is Google Classroom? Whenever we are creating a Google Classroom, we are creating three major things with respect to it. One is the online environment in which we are interacting, that is a user interface in which the teacher and the student is interacting. Second is a calendar which is associated with a Google Classroom, which will keep track of all the activities, when the material is shared and when the assignment is due, when by what date they have to submit the assignments. And the final one is Google Drive, in which all the materials that is shared, all the information that is been shared is replicated into the drive, that is Google Drive account. So start off with, so with this brief introduction, I'll straight away jump into the demonstration of Google Classroom. Can somebody can you see my screen now? You can type yes. So can you see my screen now?
Yes, Abhilash, it's visible.
So there are two ways in which we can open up Google Classroom. So one is by directly going into Google. In the address bar, you can straight away write the Google Classroom. And you can open like this. So in order to do this, first you make sure that everybody can make sure that you have logged into the exact account in which you will be managing the Google Classroom. So here I have created a new ID specifically for handling the class, that is for Google Classroom. So with this ID, I have logged into the Google Chrome browser. You can make use of any other browsers if you want to. If you have multiple accounts, probably before getting into the Google Classroom, you select the account with which you want to manage Google Classroom. So this is one way. You can Google the Google Classroom address and you can go to the Google Classroom account like this. Or one of the easiest approach that is available is next to the account icon, you have a 9 dots that is giving information regarding Google Apps. So when I click on it, you can clearly see the list of Google applications that are provided to you. So these are the different tools that are available. So in which the organization could be done, you can drag and drop wherever you want your icon to be. So since this account is primarily for the Google Classroom, I have prioritized its position to the first part of it. So you can either click here to open Google Classroom, or you can click here to create a Google Classroom. So if I click on this, the page will open. So for the first timers, if you have not created any classrooms, it will ask for the creation of the Google Classroom. So in which you have to select the account with which you want to create Google Classroom. Once again, I repeat, you need to select the Google account with which you need to create the Google Classroom virtual environment. So select that account, and if you click OK, it will ask for some private some license and agreement from Google Education. You just click OK to accept it and click OK to it. This entire window open. So initially, so this demo portion will not be there, since I have already created this in order to for the demo purpose. I have already created this. If this is not there, there is a blank window that is that will be visible, which is a Google Classroom window. In this, there are three sections which I will be addressing first. So this 3-line tab, which gives you the option. So first you have classes. So if you are managing, for example, you have a 3rd sem class, you have a 5th sem class, and you have a 7th sem class, you can create so many classes of your wish. So with respect to the name of the subject you can create, or with respect to the semesters you can create, or if the department information has to be shared, you can create a classroom for the faculties also to keep track of all the activities that is taking up. So next you have a calendar. This calendar is very specific for a specific class. If you have created a 3rd sem class, then there will be a separate calendar for 3rd sem. If you have created a classroom for 5th semester, you have a separate calendar for it. Similarly, for the number of classes you have created, so many number of the specific calendars will be created. So next, coming to the teaching part here, so there are two things that will be available. One is the list of classes you have created, and second one is to review. So this is the new feature that has been updated in recent times. To review is a feature which will let you know what are the pending works on the teacher part has to be completed. For example, I have given an assignment, but assignment evaluation is not yet done and the scores has not yet been received, or not yet has been returned to the students. So on that note, it will show me the set of the pending works that are available. Here you can select the number of classes you have created. Since I have already created only one class, it is showing a single class. So coming to classes back, so we'll start off with the creation of the class. There are two ways, two options. There is a plus symbol here, as you can see. There is two options that is available. One is join class, another one is create class. So usually the join class is used by the students to get into a class, or if one teacher want to join to the classroom of another staff, he can do it by having the information related to that classroom, a link or a code of that particular classroom, and he can type in the whatever the class code is there here, and he can join that particular classroom. So I'll start with the creation of the classroom. So I'll create here, I'll select create class. So when you click on this, it will ask a permission for using the Google Classroom with the schools and university and with the students. As we have already discussed, so as we all already know, both the Google Classroom, the Google products comes in two different packages. The first package is which is free for everybody. The first package which is free for everybody, and the second package is the enterprise version, in which for specifically for Google for educational institutes, they provide Google Education G Suite, which comes up with unlimited storage and integration of Google Meet into Google Classroom, and all the customized the apps whichever are there, Google Docs, Google Sheets, Jamboards, and all those features, whichever applications whichever are there, which comes with unlimited provisions. Since we are making use of a free account, just accept here whatever the G Suite agreement is there. Once it is done, give continue. So once I give continue, it will ask for the information of the classroom which you want to create. So here you can give the class name as the subject, or you can give the class name as individual subject name, or you can give the class name as the semester name. But we prefer, since we are having around 6 subjects per semester, so to avoid the ambiguity among the students, the name of the subject has to be given as the class name. So since this is for the demo purpose, I am making use of creating this particular classroom. So I'll call the classroom name as experimental, or I'll call it as demo version. I'll call it demo classroom. And you can mention, if you have multiple sections, like this probably will be useful for first years. You can make use of the sections here, and once again you can give the name of the subjects you are handling with. I'll give the name as demo itself, and in case if specific classroom has been allotted in the offline scenario, that classroom name could be given here. So once this basic information is given, so when I give create here, so this will create 3 parameters. One, it will create a classroom which is called demo classroom. Next, it will create a calendar for this demo classroom, and next it will create in the Google Drive a specific folder named as demo classroom. So these 3 environments will be created every time I give a create class. So once I give create class, So this new window will open up, so which gives me information on a demo classroom that is being created. So this is the classroom scenario, the virtual classroom scenario we have. So as I've already mentioned, these three horizontal lines will give me the list of classrooms I have created. So I have here created two classrooms, one is with a name demo and other one is with a demo classroom. So the demo classroom I have created now. So in this demo classroom, this is the home page of demo classroom. So once the classroom has been created, next we will jump into the second portion. What are the, how one can add to the classroom, how students can add to the classroom. So in order to know that, there are 4 tabs that is available. One is stream, other one is classwork, people and marks. So here stream is nothing but the place wherein I am making an announcement. So any assignment is given, any material is posted, or it will brief me out regarding all the operations or all the activities I have taken that has been taken place in the Google Classroom in the hierarchical order in which, with respect to the time basis, it will show how exactly the Google Classroom has been created and what are the activities has been placed. So second tab is with respect to the classwork. So this is the place where we manage our content. For example, I want to post a notes, I want to post a textbook soft copy, I want to give a video file for students, or I want to give the YouTube link or the address of the link to which they can refer, or I want to post an assignment. All this classwork that is assigned to students that has to be specifically shared with the students will be present in the classwork. And the third tab is people. So people is nothing but the students who are available, the teachers who are present, teachers who are present who are handling this particular class, and the students who are part of this particular classroom. Those informations will be there in this particular tab. So here there are 2 ways in which you can add students to the particular classroom. One is by knowing their email ID. So if you know their email ID, you can either share them with this particular link which is very specific for this particular classroom, or you can manually type in the email address of the students to add them to the class. So both of this, sometimes if you can share the link, you can mail them, you can copy this particular link and you can mail the entire link to the entire classroom when you have the email ID of the entire classroom, or you can WhatsApp this information to a particular group in which they can, since as the already the principal sir has has been communicated for each individual classroom for semester, we have to create a WhatsApp group. So you can share this particular link in the classroom stating to join for that particular subject. So another alternative approach what you can do is, which is very simple, since I have been stressing out on a fact that in online learning process, it is not just a responsibility of the teacher, it is a responsibility of the student. So you have a class code which you can see here. This is a specific information which will remain constant until and unless the class is present. So you can share this class code with your students so that they can just open in mobile or in desktop. They can open in desktop or in their mobile. They can just click on join to the classroom. As I have clearly shown here, you have 2 options. One is join class and another one is create class. Here they will go into the join class and they will enter the information related to the class code that has been displayed here. So this is very specific with respect to the classroom we have created. Here I have created a classroom for demo classroom with the name subject demo classroom. So for that, this is the invitation link or this is the class code. Once you share this information with your students, all the student has to do is just enter this particular class code and he will be admitted to the class. So for example, for demonstration purpose, anybody who is on the desktop can copy this code, or you can type in this particular code. I will repeat, YY4UKSL. I repeat, YY4UKSL. Those are on desktop, can try this. YY4UKSL. Once you give enter, so that will automatically add you to the classroom. So as of now, Arpita ma'am from EC have joined the session or joined this particular classroom with the class code I have shared. So this is how each individual time the student enter that class codes and joins the classroom, the entire information will be here. It will give me the two ways in which I have already shown, two ways in which student can add, either by making use of the class code, or you can send them the copy invitation link via mail or WhatsApp to individual student, and you can ask them to join the classroom by just clicking on the link that is being given, or they can enter this information to add to the particular classroom. So once the student has been added here, you can monitor, there are multiple actions that you can take place. If you want to email a particular student or you want to email the entire classroom, so you can select to instead of going and copy pasting each individual student's email ID, once everybody is there in a single classroom, we can make use of just an email button here, which will ease my work of mailing everybody by just selecting their contact number instead of going for copy pasting the email IDs of the individual students. Or you want to, by accidentally somebody has been added to your class, you want to delete or you want to remove that particular student from your class, you can just do it by selecting that particular contact and giving remove. So next, coming to the individual student part, so there is 3 dots that is placed on the right hand side. So when you click on that, you can mail a specific student by clicking on the 3 dots that is present here. So this is about the people tab, in which if you want to add a teacher here, for example, if you are sharing subject or you want to add your head of the department to the classroom so that they can keep track of what is the progress of the subject that has been taken place, you can invite your teachers just by knowing their email ID, type their email ID and send invite. Once the invite is sent to them, once they accept the invite, they will be automatically added to the classroom and they can view, they can make announcement. At the same time, they will have the equal privileges as the one who has created the classroom. For example, if I invite myself to the class with another email ID, so once the email ID is given, if I give invite, so the invitation link has been mailed to that particular student and it will show the progress or it will show the status of the invitation. So here it is still invited, that clearly means the other teacher has not yet accepted my invitation. So once they accept the invitation, the name will be displayed as it is been shown there. So this is about the people tab. Next we have the last tab, which is very specifically useful for keeping track of the progress of the individual student, that is with respect to the assignments and grading. So the individual assignment that is been given, the grade that is been given to assigned to individual assignment, the progress of individual student with respect to that assignment will be tabulated in the marks tab in this particular classroom. So this is brief with respect to the 4 tabs that is available, that is stream, classwork, people and marks. So if you have any queries, just type it and type it in the chat box. I'll try to answer all the questions at the end of the session. So these are the 4 tabs with which we can do the multiple tasks. The stream is with respect to which will give me the overview of my entire classroom. Classwork is nothing but very specific activities that is been taken, the material shared, the content shared, the assignments given, to keep track of all the contents that is been given to the students. The learning content that is been given to the students will be there in the classwork. So the people tab will be having the list of students who are added to the classroom and the list of teachers who are present in the classroom. So we can make use of the people tab to selectively mail a student, or in the group I want to mail a particular student. For example, there is a circular for a third sem student from VTU. If I want to send them this, instead of going and copy pasting each individual email address, just I can select all of this at one go and I'll say email. So a general mail will be created with all the email IDs of that particular classroom, and you can attach whatever the circular that is been given and you can send it on single go. So this is how the people tab could be made use of. And last, the marks tab is nothing but this is used for the keeping track of the assignment submissions of individual students and the progress of the work with the work they have completed. So the next one is settings tab, which will give me the how one can control the entire classroom. So this is the classroom details which I have already created or already given. So I will concentrate more on this general part. So here the first one is enabled, that means you can manage who joins into your class, whether you are sharing the dependent on the only with respect to the invitation link you are admitting your students, or only with respect to the class codes you are admitting the students. You can control this by just selecting the disable and enable option here, and this is the information with respect to the invitation link of that particular class. This and the second one is nothing but the class code, and the last one is nothing but how you want to display your class code like. So you can change this view of the class code, the color of the class code, whichever operations you want to do, you can do this here. Next, this is the main control which we need to look into. The first one is says stream. Here by default it is saying the students can post as well as comment. That means you are giving, not just the teacher is having authority to post as well as comment in the stream. Stream is very pretty much similar to the Facebook wall we are making use of. Anybody, if we can control the privacy settings in our individual account, the same type in the Google Classroom also you can control who has access to comment or who has right to post on your the Google Classroom content. So here by default it is taking student can post and comment. You can change this to student can only comment. That means whenever a post is created on a stream, if the students can only read it and he can add his own private comment to it, this is the second option. And the last option is wherein it is very monotonous, wherein only the teacher can post or he can comment on whatever the work that is been taking place in the entire the classroom. So what we prefer is we'll just go for student can only comment, because it is very highly unlikely that student will create a post for any activities that has to be taken place, since the staff or the teacher is in charge of the learning activities here. So I'll select in the stream the second option, that is students can only comment. That means any post that is being given or any post that is being posted on the stream, the student can go through it and he can comment if he has any queries with respect to it, or he has any confusions with respect to it, or he has any specific questions with respect to it. He'll just comment, he can just only comment, he cannot create any post with respect to it. Then with respect to this, the classwork on the stream, you can control these three options, which means on the side panel, that is three horizontal line whichever I have shown, there are three options in which you can control the view of the classroom. If you want to show the attachment as well as entire details, then you can select the first one. The second one is the show condensed information. That means it will just show the highlights of the post that is been done, or you can give hide notification, in which you cannot see any notification in the stream. So we'll keep this to show condensed notification. And the last option is not required. So this is usually done when by mistake the student by mistake the teacher has created an material and the attachment was not done, or any mistake with respect to the attachment was there, you can simply delete that particular attachment. At the same time, when I give show deleted items, the deleted items are not visible to students, but it is only visible to the teacher. So this is the control with respect to the stream you are having. And the last one is with respect to the mark calculation. So here if you are giving multiple assignments and for each assignment you are assigning different marks, and at the end you want to calculate the aggregate of the entire assignments that is being given. For example, I have given 10 assignments with 10 marks each. For each assignment I am giving 10 marks. So then total I have 100 marks. So if you have to have the overall mark, then you can go for the operations here in terms of the total points, or you can choose the category to which you want to do this. For example, you have given 5 writing assignments and 5 oral assignments. So you want to have 2 different categories. One is the writing category and the second one is the oral category. So you can assign the accordingly marks related to this. So this is more sophisticated options which you can try it out. But as of now, for a simple purpose, we can just go for no overall mark. Then this is what you can control. This is one of the nice feature that is been added to Google Classroom. So whether you want to display the marks scored by the student to the marks scored to the student or not, you can even control that. By default it is showing, by default it is turned off. You can turn it on when since I have not given any assignments till now, the option is not showing to me, is not visible to me. Once the assignment has been created, once it is been attended by the student, I can look into this particular option later. So you can even control that, whether your student want to know what is his score, or whether you don't want your student to know whether what is the score that has been done. So once entire the setup is done, so I'll give save. So this is the second step in monitoring the entire Google Classroom. The first step is creating a classroom. Next, adding students as well as teachers to the classroom. Next, I'll configure my entire classroom by getting into the class settings. So once this is done, I'll come back to stream again. Here you can customize how you want to look into your Google Classroom. Like, there are 2 options that is available. One is select theme and second one is upload photo. You can upload, for example, if you have a photo of a particular class. So to make it more engaging, because students want a specific information which is very specific to the class. If you have a photo of that particular classroom, you can put the that particular photo as a cover picture here. So once that is been done, they get an attachment with respect to the activities that is been. So it is more towards the psychological patterns of the students to gain their attention towards the class. For example, you can select any photo from either Google Drive or from the local storage. You can upload a photo. And you can drag and drop with respect to the frame to which you want your information to be displayed, and you can set the class theme accordingly to that. So once this has been done, this is more customized version with respect to what information you want to display it to. So coming to the stream part, you have 2 portions in which the activities takes place. So this is the place where I post things, and this is where I get notification on. I said whenever Google Classroom is created, there will be a calendar that is created. So since once any activity is created, for example, I have created an assignment with a due date of August 1st, then this upcoming field will be showing me the pending work that has to be completed by the students by a deadline that is being given to them. And then you have announcement to the students at the same time. Whenever student has some information or some private comment he has put up or some doubt he has asked, you can answer that particular doubt by addressing them in the stream. For example, if you want to create any particular post, all you need to do is you can see your photo or contact picture here. Next to that is a empty space. When you click on that empty space, this is how it will show. So you want to share some information with respect to a specific operation. For example, I want to welcome my students to the Google Classroom. Then I'll simply type this message, and here you can control to whom you want to post it to. Since I have created, for example, so there is a common message that has to be sent to the students of 6 subjects. Then if you are part of all the 6 classrooms, then you will get a list of the classrooms you are part of, and you can select all the classrooms to which you want to send this information to. So since I want to convey this information only to this particular classroom, that is demo classroom, and I want to, whether you want to send it to all the students or you want to send it to a specific student, you can post it here. You can control. So whenever you post something very specific to a student, that is visible to only that particular student. For example, if you want here, this is first I will go with public announcement. So this is the message I am putting up. So here, if you want to add any attachment with respect to this, you can add this. You want to add a YouTube link or you want to add a file. So these are the 4 options you have. The Google Drive is nothing but you already have the file you want to share in the Google Drive. That means you have already uploaded that particular file into the Google Drive. Second one is nothing but you want to share the website link, or you want to share a specific resource link. Website link, whenever you want to share, I'll go to the link. Next, I'll go for file. File is nothing but you want to upload a file from your local storage, that is nothing but either from your phone or from your desktop or laptop. So in that case, I'll go into file, and last one is nothing but YouTube. I'll try to demonstrate. See, Google gives you freedom with respect to the number of attachment you can have. You can select 5 attachment in a single post, or you can attach single post for single attachment. All this could be done. So I'll try to demonstrate that. First, I want to add a Google Drive link. When I click on this, it will connect to the Google Drive of the logged in account. So I have already logged in with respect to my classroom account. So which will show the recent documents you have made use in Google Drive, or either you can go for the upload concept. Here I'll upload it from the local storage. Next I have My Drive. So My Drive has list of the files that I have been using throughout. So for example, I'll select the Meet attendance. This is an Excel sheet that has been created. So I'll insert this. So now you can clearly see that file has been attached here. So similarly, if you want to add a link, for example, I want to add this Google Meet link as an attachment. For example, if you want to share the WebEx meeting link of your subject, instead of WhatsApping them, instead of mailing them, you can make use of Google Classroom to share that particular information. So you can add the meeting link here, and you can just give add link. So now you have a class video meeting link that is been given, and you have given Excel sheet to them, and you want to add a YouTube video link. So you just click on YouTube video, and you can search any video you want to give. For example, I'll select, if you have already you have a URL, you can directly type the URL here. Else you want to type in any information. For example, I want to upload the Google Classroom, how to use Google Classroom. So I'll select any one of the video, and I'll just give add here. So with the single post, I have added an document from my drive, I have added a link, and I have added a YouTube video. At the same time, if you go for file, file is nothing but you are uploading a document from your local storage. So I will once again select any one of the file from my system. So it will take a bit of time to get uploaded. That clearly depends on the file size of the file you want to share with respect to the classroom. So as I can clearly see, I have made use of all the 4 options. So I have made use of Google Drive, I have made use of a link, I have made use of a file, and I have made use of YouTube in a single link. And one of the nicest feature that is been added in a recent time by Google Classroom is how you want to post this. So for example, you want to sit down for creating the material for entire week, you can sit on single day and you can schedule your post, or you can save them as draft, and you can control until and unless you give post, that material will not be visible to the student. For example, if I give save draft, so the post is visible for student. Sorry, the post is not visible for student, it is only visible for the teacher who has created it. For example, if you want to edit it, you just click on it and you can select what you want to do with respect to that particular post. Whether you want to post it right now, post is nothing but you are sending it right now. If you want to schedule, it will ask when you want to schedule. You can select the time, you can select the date, and you can select the time. So and then you give schedule. So on that day, for example, on September 1st, I want to send this particular post message stating that welcome to my Google Classroom. So if I can schedule that, I'll select September 1st. For example, my class is at 9:30, so I'll give 9:30 here and I'll give schedule. So once this is done, on September 1st 9:30, it is not required that you need to be there for the session. So by default, it will post, the Google Classroom will do that job by itself of posting that information on behalf of yourself. So this is how, and 3 options could be made use of. The first option is post, second is schedule, and third one is save draft. So save draft is used when you want to save this information, you does not want to share this information now, you want some corrections to be done to the file that you want to do. Note save draft could be used. Schedule is used when the post is not intended for today, but on a particular day you want to send this particular file. On that day, on that particular note, you can use the schedule. So now I'll give post. So it will say tell, or it will ask, the announcement has to be posted to all students or a specific student. Since I have selected all students here, the students who are part of the classroom and the teachers who are part of the classroom, the entire people who are part of the classroom will get this notification. So when I give post, so this is how it is looking like. So if you want to know how exactly it looks in another window, I'll try to demonstrate the entire the student part in the separate section. So this is more with respect to your stream. As I have clearly stated, you can create a post. In the post, you can add just textual information, or you can add a file from Google Drive, or you can add a file from your local storage, that is your system or your phone. You can add a YouTube link, or you can add a file storage, a file from, or you can give the website link to which student who may have to refer that particular website to get the information related to it. So this is about it with respect to the stream. As I go on creating more posts and more posts, the entire since I have created only one post here, you are seeing only one post. As you go on creating the multiple posts, this is the streamline. Whenever a teacher looks into or a student looks into, he comes to know what are the activities that has been taken over in that particular Google Classroom over a period of time. So this is with respect to the Google stream, Google Classroom stream. Next I'll jump on to the classroom. So in the classroom, this is the three tabs or three options you have. One is create, and second one is Google Calendar, and third one is Google Drive folder. As I have clearly stated earlier, every classroom that is been created, there will be a Google Calendar that is created to it, and there will be a Google Drive folder that is created with respect to it. That means once the classroom is created, inside Google Classroom, I have created 5 classes, means there will be 5 independent folders. It is not that all the informations are sent to a single folder. So there will be a specific folder for specific classroom. So if you click on that, you can just view it how exactly it looks like. So this is as I can clearly see here, the configuration. The My Drive is nothing but this place where exactly I am. This is My Drive with respect to which the Google account is been attached. Then I have a folder which is nothing but the classroom. So this is my Google Classroom account. This is not with respect to a specific subject or specific semester. So this is my entire classroom setup. So when I double click on this particular classroom, I have one classroom that has been created as of now, that is demo classroom. So as you go on creating multiple classrooms, you get more folders here. So with respect to the same the subject name or the classroom name you have given. For example, I have created a 5th sem class, then I have a 5th sem folder here. Then I have created an 7th sem class, then I have a 7th sem folder here. So similarly, the number of classes you have created, that many folders that will be created for a teacher here. So all the activities, all the materials that has been posted will be there here. So now the question may arise stating that you have uploaded files in the Google Stream, that is in the Google Classroom stream. So those files are not available here. So this is the difference between posting on the stream and posting on the classwork. So whatever you post on the stream will not be stored in the Google Drive. So there is no backup of whatever you post on Google Classroom stream. But whatever you post on Google Classroom classwork, the backup will be there, a folder or the document will be there in the My Drive or the Google Drive account. So let me demonstrate that for you. So when I click on create, these are the options that are available. One is creating an assignment. Second is with respect to creating a specific, the Google form, that is quiz assignment. You can create a open-ended question for discussion. You can create a material. This material could be notes, this material could be PDF, this material could be PPTs, this material could be even videos, and it could be YouTube links also. So the material could be anything. And one of the important feature or one of the important option that you can make use to organize or customize your Google Classroom is with respect to the topic. So the topic here is nothing but, for example, you are handling how you want to look categorize your information into. For example, for module 1 you want to post a notes, you want to post a PDF, you want to post an YouTube video, and you want to post assignments with respect to it. You want to categorize or divide or organize your content in terms of modules. You can create topics as module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4 and module 5. Or else this is independent with respect to the staff approach they can make use of. You can create a topic named notes. So in the notes you will post all the notes, that is notes module 1, module 2, module 3 and module 4. Or you can go for different tabs altogether saying an assignment. So all the assignments will be there in a single folder or single tab. So I'll just create a topic first. I'll call the topic as module 1. This is how I organize my class. So I'll create topics with respect to the modules. You can create any number of topics. See, this is what the change that has been done now. So there is a specific tab called module 1. So I'll create one more module saying that module 2. So there is one more tab that has been created. So here you can anytime you can edit this, you can copy the link or you can rename whatever the topic you have created. So once this is done, so before starting off with classroom, first you need to create the topic first. For creating a topic, go to create and click on the topic. So this topic is nothing but how you want to organize your information. So whether you want to organize your information the module wise, whether you want to organize your information on type of the content, that is notes, assignments and discussions and tests. So that completely depends on how you want to organize. This is completely with respect to the individual staff approach. So I am showing with respect to the modules. So whatever related to module 1 will be there in module 1. Whatever with respect to module 2, it will be there in the module 2. So all the assignments, all the contents that will be there on a single module here. So next, I'll go for creating an assignment. So before going to that, first I'll go to material first. I'll select material. When I click on material, it will ask on what is the material you want to share. So I'll say notes module 1, and you can type in whatever the information, additional information you want to give it to. Check the attachments. Then you can go to add or create. So what is the difference between add or create? Add is nothing but you already have a file and you are uploading that particular file. Create is nothing but you are creating a new file, or you are creating a new a file in the Google Drive. So whenever click on I create, so it will only show or it will only support the Google products such as Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets, Google Drawings and Google Forms. Else you can go for add. So this is same with respect to Google Stream. You can add if you have your notes or PDF in the Google Drive, you can select Google Drive, or you can go to link. You can share the link of the information material you are sharing, or you can go to file. So I'll select file first. I'll try to demonstrate file first. I'll say upload. So I'll browse my notes. So I'll consider this particular document, that is Jan 2019, as a document which I want to share with my students. I'll give open. So it will take a few moments to upload the file. So it is taking quite a time. Okay, the file has been attached here. Once this is done, so now I'll demonstrate how exactly topics could be made use of. So here you can control to which classroom you want to post the particular material to. For example, you are taking, for example, for 5th semester there are 2 different classes, but the subject is same. Since the classroom created is different, you can create the classroom for vertical progression classroom separately, and you can create a classroom for the regular students, 18 scheme students separately, and you want to post the same material to both the class. This is how you could do it. You create a material here and you can select both the classrooms here, and on the single go you are posting on 2 different classrooms. And you can select, if you want to select individual student to which you want to send a material, you can go to specifically selecting them. Then I'll select a topic here. So these are the topics I have created. So if I say the Jan 2019 is a notes of module 1, I'll select module 1 here. So once the module 1 is created, so once it is done, once again you have 3 options. You can post it, you can schedule it, or you can save draft. So here I'll not demonstrate what is schedule, as I've already told or demonstrated what exactly schedule is. I'll give post. Once the post button has been clicked, so now you can clearly see it will not get into the general folder, rather it will go to module 1. Under module 1 I have created a notes called I have created a material called notes module 1. Similarly, you can go for creating assignments also. So here the type of the assignments clearly depends on how you want your students to create the assignments. So you can give the instructions how they want to take up the assignment. And once again here you can create, for example, you have already created the question paper in the PDF format and you just want to share with them, or you have created a presentation slides in which they want to complete few things. So here the assignment part will not go in depth, because it completely depends on the nature of the subject the staff is handling, and it depends on the methodologies which the faculty is making use in order to reach out the individual student to access them exactly. So thus assignment part will not look into. You can create a file. For example, in the Word file you have created the assignments, or you have typed in the questions, or you have typed in the problems, whatever you want to give it to the students, and you can just attach that particular file. Or you can create, you can link an YouTube video, and you can say just look into this particular YouTube video and answer the following questions. This could be one type of assignment that is that could be given. You can assign them the YouTube link. So I'll randomly select one. So the YouTube link has been added here, and with respect to this, attend the assignment by watching the video and answering the questions. So the questions, either you can, if you have already typed in the Microsoft Word, you can upload that particular file, or you can go to create and go for docs. So when I click on the docs, a document has been created in the Google Drive by the Google service itself. So you can type in the questions you want to ask with respect to the video content you have shared. I'll say this as so I'll name this as assignment 1, and I'll ask one question. What is the color of the shirt the presenter was wearing? This could be made use in order to, while the class is running, you could make use of this feature. Once this is done, it is not required for you to save the Google document, because Google does it by itself, the automatic save option. Only thing is that you need to have the active internet connection. Once it is done, you can clearly see here the assignment has been created with a name assignment 1, and I have given the questions here. You can type in all the questions you want to give it to the students. So only one question I have given. I have assigned a YouTube video, and that video, what is the color of the shirt the presenter was wearing was a question I have asked. So once this is done, next I'll go into the same portion wherein if you want to assign the same assignment to multiple classroom, you can select it here, or you can go to a specific student you want to assign assignment, you can just click on it, and you want to, what is a score or what is a grade you want to give it to for the completion of the assignment. So I have given here it as 100. So you can change the value with respect to your needs. You can give it for 10 marks, you can give it for 5 marks. So that clearly depends on the individual staff needs. Then when is a due date, you want your students to complete the assignment by what date. For example, here I'll say today itself is a date, and by today evening, that is, I'll call it as 18, I'll call this as 6 p.m. or in 24 format it is 18 hours. So this is by today evening they need to submit the assignment. So here is where you need to configure your assignments, where exactly it will be. So I'll call this assignment as assignment 1. Since I have called this as assignment 1, it will come under module 1. So now I'll select the topic. Once the topic is selected, the assignment will get into that particular tab. So the last and important part with respect to assignment is with respect to the rubric. Rubric is nothing but how you want to evaluate your assignment. That means, for example, for any assignment that is being given, you have split the assignment into two parts. For example, in terms of when they have submitted the assignment, in time they have submitted, they'll get the 5 marks, and for writing the assignment they'll get the 5 marks. So there are two criteria on which you are judging the assignment. Then you can go for individually creating those criterions in the rubrics, defining those criteria in the rubrics, and certainly you can evaluate. Here I'll just create 2 rubrics. All you need to do is give a criterion title. So first one is with respect to attending the assignment. You can go on giving the description. So this usually the student will come to know what is with for 5 marks what they have to do, and for other 5 marks what they have to do. So I'll not give more description with respect to it. So I'll give the points here as 5 points, and I'll create one more criterion. The criterion title here is the completion. Once the both of this has been given, so the points here is the 5 points. So total I have 10 points. So the 5 points for attending the assignments and 5 points for the completion. So this will be there in the rubrics. You can create any number of criterions you want to create. So once this is done, I'll give save. So as you can clearly see, there is a 2 criterions on which the students will be judged, and it for the 10 marks. So I'll change it now. Instead of going for 100 points, I'll go it for 10 points. So once this is done, I can go to assign. So the assignment has been posted here. Once the assignment is posted, it is clearly telling the assignment is due by date 18, that is today 6 p.m. they have to complete the assignment. So once the assignment is given, you can clearly see here, earlier this portion was not there because I have not given any assignments. Now since the assignment is given, so you have two different options in which 2 different students, and the scores of the individual students has been shown here. So you can individually go and click on the student to grade them if they have completed the assignment. Since nobody has completed the assignment, you cannot grade them as of now. So this is how you I'll move on to the marks part later words. So this is with respect to creation of the material as well as creation of the assignments. And one more option you can make use of is the question. So question is usually used when since the class is conducted for 30 minutes, next 10 to 15 minutes you will be doing the QA session. During the QA session, in order to get the attendance of the students, you can ask them a question, random question here. Type in the question, and the type you will be setting it as a short answer, and they have to type in the answer with respect to whatever the activities that is been taken. For example, you can simply ask your students what are the topics covered in the, type in the topics that is covered in today's session. So they'll type it and they'll send individually, and for which once again you can give the whatever the grades you want to give it to. Or if you want to give it, there is no marks for the question and answer, you can give it unmarked, and you can give the due date. Due date is nothing but you can control. For example, my class is ending at 10:40, I give the due time as 10:40, and you can give the privilege in terms of whether you want your students to edit whatever the answer that is there or not, and then I'll give ask, so that will the question will be posted. Type in topics covered. So once this is done, I can give it ask. So once I give this, since I have not created any topics here, so this will come in the general platform. Now you cannot identify which question was asked in. So by accident, if you have done, you can once again you can change it. Click on this, give edit, and you can select the whichever the topic you want to link it to. So I'll select module 1 and I'll give save. Now it is changed. Earlier it was in the general platform, now it is there in the module 1. Now by mistake you have put it in the module 1, now you have to change it to module 2. You can do that. So I'll change this to module 2 and I'll give save. So if you want to make use of the same post again, you can click on edit, and you can create a new topic, or you can assign whatever the topic is there, and you can change the topic at any time. So this is with respect to the classwork tab. You can create an assignment. The quiz assignment is nothing but if you want to give a Google students Google form and attaching it here, the Google Classroom will do that for you. So just you need to do is, what you need to do is just click on and select the quiz assignment. When I click on the quiz assignment, give the title of the quiz. I'll call this as assignment 2 since I have already given assignment 1, and the quiz is already here. And all the settings that is been done by the Google Classroom by itself. So the quiz is created here, and here I'll give just 2 options for quickly. I'll give the session is on Google Meet. I'll give 2 options, that is yes and no, and I'll create this and give this as required. So now the quiz is created. You can give the name of the quiz as assignment 2, and you can give the answer key as, if you want to give the answer key here, I'll give the point as 10. I'll done. So once this is done, you can close this. So assignment 2 has been created here. You can give the instructions whatever you want to give it to, and now the quiz is for 10. So due date is today itself. Next the topic I'll give it as module 2, and the rubrics is not required in the quiz assignment because automatically Google Form will grade that particular assignment, and I'll give it to assign. So as you can clearly see, there is one assignment that is created in module 1 and there is another assignment that is created in the module 2. So this is with respect to managing the content sharing part. So if you get into Google Classroom, Google Drive of your folder, you can clearly see all those information that is created. So there is assignment 1 created, there is assignment 2 that has been created. So this is available for students to do the operations on. So next I'll quickly move on to the grade section. So dependent on what the student has done, so those who have already submitted the assignment, I will get this notification. So this total marks will be visible only if the student has submitted the assignment. So how to view the assignment submission? So student has already submitted it, just you need to correct it. So instead of downloading the file and correcting it, or having the storage issues with respect to it, you can create, since the file will be uploaded to Google Drive itself, you can click on that particular student name. So once I click on that, so it will show the list of assignment that has been given to them and those which are handed in. So in the Google Classroom, we make use of a term called hand in. Hand in is nothing but once a student completes the assignment, he'll submit the assignment and he'll hand in the submit. Once the assignment is handed in, it is available for you to grading. So it is showing that there is one attachment that is assigned with respect to that assignment that is given. So when I click on it, it will show the assignment 1 which is created in the docs and that is been uploaded here, and you can click on it. So when you open the assignment, so this is how it looks like. So this is the one of the assignment that is been submitted. So the question asked was what was the color of the shirt the presenter was wearing in the YouTube video. So the answer was, with respect to the video, it was blue, and the student has submitted it. So coming to the valuation part, earlier we are manually evaluating the entire assignment that was given. Here we can do it on the Google Classroom itself, rather than going for taking a Google sheet and entering the marks one by one. You can attend in it with respect to the rubrics you have created. So earlier I have created 2 rubrics for the total points of 10. So for attending the quiz, attending the assignment, I will be giving the 5 points. Since they have attended the assignment, I have given 5, and for the completion I will be giving the 5. So once that is done, it will automatically grade the assignment here. So if you want, I will repeat it. So this is the 2 rubrics I have created. One is attending the assignment and completing the assignment. So for attending, I have given 5 points, and for completion I am giving 5 points. So this is completely with respect to the student faculty's freedom. They can create any number of criterions in the rubrics and they can assign marks with respect to it. So once that is done, this is a total mark. So once the mark is done, this marks will be saved as a draft. It is not shared with respect to students. If you want to share it with respect to your students, this is showing it is draft, you can give it as written. So it will once again ask the confirmation regarding whether you want to send it, just give written. So once you give written, the score has been sent to your students. Now assignment of one student is completed or evaluated. You want to evaluate another assignment. So it is not required for you to close this and go back to Google Classroom and do this again. So just use this scroll button and go on performing the evaluation for individual assignments for any number of assignments that has been submitted. Since there were only 2 members in my class and only one has completed the assignment, I have evaluated that just by going on this particular arrow mark. You can control or you can evaluate any number of assignments that has been given are submitted by the student. So this is with respect to assignments. So once this is done, you can return back to your Google Classroom. So if you get into marks, so this will show you the assignments that is been submitted. So here also one of the assignment has been submitted by another. So these are the 2 variants of the assignment status. So one is assigned, means the assignment is already given to them, but the assignment has not been completed. Once the student completes it, so you will get a handed in status stating that he has already handed in the assignment. So just click on it. It will show you whatever the operation that is been done by the individual student. So since the second assignment I had given was with respect to the quiz, Here I look into the question asked was whether the session is on Google Meet or not. Since the answer is yes, so he has scored 100% out of this. So you can simply give the marks dependent on his performance here, and you can give the return. So once I give this and I come back to my classroom, if you look into the marks, so this is how it looks like. So assignment 1 was submitted by one student and assignment 2 was submitted by one student. So once the entire assignments has been done, once the entire session is completed, you can get back to your class settings, and here there is a tabulation for the total points. You can download the total points of the students in a Excel sheet. Which is available, which you can export your entire grades into a single Excel sheet. Dependent on the individual student calculation. So you can control the display of the marks to the students by clicking on that. So this is a total assignment that is been given to the students, and individually you can create any number of assignments. So that is completely dependent on the student, the faculty's approach of creating assignments. You can create the assignment with respect to creating a summary, writing a summary, or uploading a file. So multiple assignments could be created, and similarly the grading and evaluation could be done on a single platform. So this is just a gist of how you can manage the Google Classroom. So I'll just brief it out. We started off with the creation of the Google Classroom. You can create the you can get into the Google Classroom either by the browser by typing classroom.google.com, or you can log into your Gmail Google account, then get into the Google Apps, and you can click on the Google Classroom to get into the classroom. Once the classroom is created, you can at any individual time you can create a classroom by clicking on the plus button here, or you can join the classroom by clicking on the button here. So once that is done, a classroom will be created. Once the classroom is created, inside the classroom we have 4 tabs. One is stream, classroom, people, and marks. Stream is used for the communication purpose, any notification, any announcement that has to be done, and all those announcements will be there here. And the second classwork is nothing but for the sharing of the assignments, sharing of the materials for that, and the sharing of any questions that you need to ask your students, and creation of the topic. While doing that, so I suggest creating topics with respect to the organization of your data. For example, if you want to group all the notes together, create a topic called notes. So under notes, you post all the notes under the same topic. So you want to create, you want to post the YouTube videos, then you can create a topic name called YouTube videos, and you can add all the individual posts on single category that is called as module called as YouTube videos. So here I have made use of the topic name as module 1 and module 2. Any activity related to module 1 will be under this category. Any activity with respect to module 2 will be under this particular category. And the creation of the assignments, you can create the Google Doc assignment, or you can create you can add any kind of the assignments you want to add to, in terms of YouTube video, in terms of local file, or in terms of the links, in terms of Google Drive, or you can create a new Google Doc altogether by yourself. And here you can select to whom you are assigning the assignment, and what is the point for which you are evaluating that assignment for, and when is the due date. And here importantly, I will select what topic, under what topic I am conducting this particular assignment. So once that is given, then I will go for rubrics. Rubrics is nothing but on what factors you are judging this particular assignment. So once that is done, I will just give share. So the second type was with respect to quiz assignment, and third type was with respect to question. Any particular question you want to ask your students to, then you can go for the question part. Then we have materials. PDFs, Microsoft Word documents, or YouTube videos, or any website links. You can attach any material and you can share it with your students. In case if you want to reuse any particular post, that means from one class to another class you want to change or copy the same content, you can make use of the reuse post. So this is with respect to the classwork. Then adding your students and teachers, you can do it by two factors. You can send them the invitation link. By clicking on this, you get an invitation link, you share this information with them, or you can give them the class code. So this class code you can share with them, and you can ask them to join the class by typing this particular class. So if you want to add your any teacher to your particular classroom, so you just type in their email address here and send them the invite. So once they accept the invite, they will be the collaborators for this particular classroom as well. And final one is nothing but the evaluation as well as the grading of the assignments. You can score the individual student by just clicking on them, and you get the different assignments that is been submitted by the student, and you can go on doing the evaluation for that student. Once the evaluation is complete, you can email them specifically regarding their progress. So this is what I wanted to tell. At the same time, if you want to know what is a pending work, that is what is work that is pending, you can just click on the to review, click on these 3 lines and click on to review, and you can select what classes you want to do it to. For example, demo classroom, if I select, there are 2 assignments that is been given and 3 categories, that is, one is the assigned, and second one is marked, and third one is handed in. Handed in comes in only when the student hands in, he completes it. Completion is not, or submission is not equivalent to handed in. So once the student hands in, then I'll evaluate it and then I'll mark. So there is no pending work. So these are the works that is considered as a work in progress. So one more tab that will come up stating that the works completed. So anytime you can review your classroom and your activities. These are the reviewed work. Since the student has not completely handed in the assignment, you cannot see it in the reviewed work. So this is how we manage the entire classroom. I hope I have covered almost all the topics related to the creation and managing of the Google Classroom. And once again, this is open with respect to the individual faculties of exploring many options. I hope I have covered most of the options. So if you have any question, I'll try to answer it. So one of the questions was from Kiran sir. This invite link, yes sir. Yes sir, you are audible sir. Hello.
Hello, Abhishek. Can you hear me?
Yes sir, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. In fact, it was a really wonderful presentation. Okay. I think it was a very clear, and all those are presented. I saw the number fluctuating between 26 to 32. However, I believe all the HODs have made a note of those who are missing, and please try to connect to them and ask them why they did not attend this session. Okay, now as you already mentioned, any questions the staff have? Okay, before that, just what has clicked to me, I would like to share. Okay. Definitely, this particular Google Classroom is no doubt, it is a good content management, the content delivery, and the assessment also could be done. Dear staff member, as we had decided to go with Cisco WebEx for the online teaching and Google Classroom for the content delivery and assessment. So these are the two tools we'll be using from 1st September. Today is Thursday, 27th. We have 28th, 29th, of course, one Sunday is there, 30, and 31st. So next 4 days, please work yourself and please prepare at least next week's the content, what you wanted to teach in the next week. That is the 3 classes and at least one class. Okay, if you prepare it within 2 days and if you find any difficulties, I think the Abhilash will definitely going to help you. And not only Abhilash, I have seen that many staff members are also have used this platform, that is the Google Classroom. Please help your colleagues in preparing the content for the first week of our academic term 2021, which is scheduled to be started from the 1st September. Please make use the 3 tomorrow up to Saturday, that is today is 27th, that is 28, 29 2 days to prepare your at least next 3 classes. And on Monday, you can have everything doubts clear so that you are very, I can say that you are ready for taking the class from the very 1st September 2020. Okay, this is what I wishes to communicate to all of you. I want to repeat, every branch, every semester, there should be one and only one WhatsApp group. Don't make multiple. All the teachers who are handling that particular semester, be a member in that WhatsApp group. And all this Google class, as Abhilash has mentioned, add HOD or invite HOD and the principal so that what you are doing in a week or in a real time, the principal and the HOD will be doing it. That's all from my end. Thank you very much, Abhilash, and thank you, Dr. Yashoda, who is the chairman for our digital teaching and assessment BCE team. You have done really a good job. There are many things to be still further communicated to all the staff members, which will be definitely done. Okay, by today evening or by tomorrow. And I wish let the online teaching and assessment be a really successful one right from the day one, that is September 1st. With this note, I'll take once again, thank you for all of you for patience listening. Thank you, Abhilash, once again.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the opportunity.
Over to Yashoda Madam. Anything else?
Sir, there was one question from Kiran, sir.
Yeah.
This invite link is to create every time or once for the subject in the initial. So once you create a Google Classroom, the invitation link as well as the Google Class code remains the same. So it will not change every time you log in. So once the Google Classroom is created for a subject, invitation link remains the same for that subject or that particular classroom.
Right. Okay, it is 12:42, the last 3 minutes, so that 12:45 will try to end. Any specific questions in the chat box? I think I didn't find any questions in the chat box. Okay, Yashoda Madam.
Okay. Thank you, Abhilash sir, for the wonderful presentation. It was very informative. Any queries from the faculty side, they can ask in the chat box, or they can unmute and ask.
Almost from the point from which I have started the demonstration, I have recorded the meeting, sir. So the YouTube link will be shared probably by tomorrow. So which will be useful, I guess, for those who are not here or those who have missed because of the different issues.
Abhilash, why tomorrow? Why can't you send it today only?
Sir, few edits has to be done, sir. I have not seen the entire file storage, whatever the size is there, sir. So I said.
Okay, okay, okay.
I'll do it to the quickest, sir.
Yes, yes, good, good. No, I just asked why not today? ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Don't worry. Just wanted to know seriously.
Okay.